All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to Daily Update, my 1000 Days Challenge. This is day 229. So let's get things started. All right, so first and foremost, you'll notice the balance is down, and that's mainly purely based on the experimental trade setup. So two losses was take. One was Ethereum, which I mentioned yesterday, that updated today. And the second one was actually on Link. I actually spent a short, I think just about a couple of hours ago, and I actually have a very sudden spike upwards. So I actually took the stop loss for that. Nothing too major. So yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, otherwise, in terms of the daily market structure update, you'll notice that from yesterday to today, the closing was actually relatively remaining the same in terms of the bullish market structure for the US stock market, which remains bullish tentatively on the, technically speaking, on the market structure wise. But that bearing in mind, we do see some form of potential rejection or retracement in that sense. All right, on the other hand, for China market, as you can see, actually transited to neutral and bearish market structure for both ASHR and Nasdaq. I mean, for ASHR and KWEB, the tech equivalent in that perspective. So yeah, potentially we could see further sell off in that sense, especially when we're very concentrated a couple of shares, a couple of stocks that is contributing to these key indices index itself for the tech market itself. All right, so otherwise, for all these four, I'm still looking for greater retracement or pullback before I look to enter long-term position-wise for my investment stock portfolio. Whereas in terms of Bitcoin-wise, yeah, things still looks a little bit on the neutral on the daily chart, and on the 4-hourly chart, there was almost a signal that you could potentially say that it actually passed my criteria, where somewhat like a low, a high, a low, low, and then we break up over here, which is also above this high above here. So technically you could have entered. So if you have entered, you'll be somewhere along here with a stop loss over here. But for me, myself, if I were to see this, the reason why I would not enter is it barely right past over here. And more importantly, you can see that there was a lack of volume close. So when there's a lack of volume close above a key level, then I'll be very very cautious in entering, because you can see that this only closes above these 20 and 50 simple moving, 20 exponential and 50 simple moving average. You have to check other exchanges itself, especially for Bitcoin, because for it to be convincingly break up, I would want it to have volume in addition to breaking above here. So yeah, do take a look at the other exchanges before making a consideration, especially when things are that close. Like for example, the 20 exponential moving average was at there 56.873, whereas the actual price close was 56.908. It was like $30, which is like less than 0.1% of a difference. So yeah, so it technically could be just really not strong in terms of the closing. So for me right now, this setup still remains valid, but I would want it to close convincingly above. And if you do find some bounce in here, I'll treat it as the previous swing low, and this would be a potential setup that I could be looking to enter itself. So yep, potentially if it does retest over here, that will be a good sign, but it has to close nicely above, and if it does close or consolidate below and close, then I'll move up the stop loss itself. So yeah, so this is a potential setup, but do ensure that I would want the risk to reward to be at least 1:1.5 using this target, swing high target as a confirmed target itself. Otherwise, I don't see much of a strong potential in terms of entering for a long setup, simply because like what I mentioned, on the daily or on the weekly chart, we are a little bit overextended. So I'm entering more for like a short-term kind of a swing trade rather than a trend following trade in terms of the 4-hour chart itself. All right. Otherwise, that's more or less about it, nothing too major. So do bear in mind that this potential setup on the price action is highly subjective on the condition it can meet the other criteria. So yeah, that's it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.